Hey guys, welcome back. Today's going to be a little bit different on video wise. It's a project I've actually done for a while back, and it's been featured in many of my videos where I've been making sheaths. And it's the old Arbor press. The 1 ton Arbor press. I've haven't had any questions about this, but I figured I'd go ahead and go over it a little bit about what I've done, a little bit of modifications I've done to it, and I had to mind the mild mess on the workbench. I'm starting to ramp up to do some to work on projects and whatnot, to sell next year on farmers markets, and it's just a small variety of things, and I will be taking orders for knife sheaths and everything. And I'll be doing sharpening and whatnot, and I'll be able to take this, where's that in here? Yeah, I'll be taking this out with me, the turntable. I'll be sharpening up knives for people as well on the spot, and be doing different things like that. And my wife's going to be in on it too. She does up jewelry and everything. Necklaces, earrings, bracelets, a bunch of variety of stuff, and she's farther along than I am. I haven't even really started. But some of the things I'll be featuring on there is my pliers carrier, chew can pouch carrier for your belt, the folder knife sheath. I got it on me, but I'll have that up for sale. And I haven't decided yet, but I might be doing cell phone cases as well, belt carriers for them. But I have not decided yet, because these things they're such a pain in the butt to do up, for me anyways, because I don't have an easy way to do the forming for this. And this one is actually the best one I've done so far. As you can see how sharp those edges are around the corners. That was not easy. I took one of my wet blocks and this top leather, and I put the leather underneath really, really hot water from the faucet, and immediately put it onto the wet block. And that I've come to find out is a very effective way of doing it, to be able to wet form and be able to make sharp sharp corners on wet form. What is my deal? Be able to make sharp corners around the wet form block, and to be able to make it come out looking like this. But it's, like I said, it's just a real pain in the butt to do this. So I might end up making something later on to be able to make it easier on me, but that's the only way I can do it for now. But the press, let me get you situated over there real quick, and I'll show you. Okay, so with this press, I modified it. Modified this arm here, so I can get zoomed in. So I bored out a hole, a 1/2-inch hole, to be able to stick this stuff in here. It's different tooling. And I threaded a set screw in here at a 1/4 20. To be able to take a 1/4 20 screw. And this is what actually holds the tooling inside there. And the way I had set this up in the drill press was I had ran this all the way down to where it was hitting the plate, the bottom plate for it. So you run this, the arm, all the way down to where it rests on the plate. And then up at the top, up here, this is where the drill bit would be making contact. and you would want to step it up on this. You don't want to just simply run the drill bit through on your first size. You always want to step it up. That way it doesn't get hot. It's all clean and everything. And then of course it just simply comes apart to be able to flip it around. Here, let me try to get you to where you can actually see this a little bit better. There are 4 bolts across the face of this that you can unscrew to be able to take this out. Hold on. Oh, and there's a collar. On the other side of this here. There's a collar on the other side to be able to slide this out, and then it should be able to come out at that point, I do believe. It's been a minute since I took this apart. Hold on, let's just find out real quick. Okay, so I don't have the right Allen for that collar. This slides out whenever you undo that, and this should come off as well, I do believe. Oh, and there's 2 here, and there's 2 over here on the back side, and those are sets. Those are other set bolts or set screws to be able to hold this press and hold this arm in place. Whatty? What? I just gave you a hug a little bit ago.
I want a hug again.
Oh, give me a minute.
What are you doing?
Working on something. But yes, and this is also a central machinery. It's a Arbor freight press.
No, but
So it's not like it's a glamorous press. Whoop. It's not like it's a glamorous press. So it's not bad to modify it.
I know what I think, but I don't go with follow me because I don't want any people to follow me, but I don't want
Okay.
any.
So you can also do it that way as well. Here. You can also take it off that way and do it that way to be able to swap it out. Now, you don't want to lose this piece. This is a shim that goes in here. And I presume this is some kind of a deal so that these on the back side, although not the back side, the front side don't scar the bar. But why they don't have it on the actual side of it, I don't know. But as you can tell, I bored was a half-inch hole in this, and that generally takes care of everything. But I found something out. Now let me show you. Now these are arms for the stamps, to be able to put the stamps on. Now, as you can see, might be able to see.
You know what?
So it's smooth here and it looks rough here. That's a gripping for the for your hand so that you don't lose your grip on it. Now, with these half-inch studs here, that roughness is just enough. Come on, focus for me. It sticks out just enough to where it won't go into a regular 1/2 inch hole. So what I did was modified one. Basically all I did was I used my belt sander and just lightly pressed onto this against the sander, the belt sander, and slightly and took away that roughness. That way it'd be able to slide in and out of there. Now, one thing I did not do was drill a breather hole in the side of this at the top of the hole, and I probably will end up doing that in the near future. But if you decide to do it, I highly suggest putting some kind of a breather hole in the top of this to make it a lot easier to slide one of these bigger ones in there and be able to take it back out. Because if not, it'll suction it in there like nothing, and it just creates its own vacuum in there, and it becomes very hard to pull it out. So you can put whatever size you want in there, but you have to be careful, because as you can see, these teeth drop in to the bar a little bit. So really you want to make sure that you're within, let's see here, see if I can do this here, within that square area. Not this square area, but this square area. I don't know if that makes sense, but the thing is, you don't want your tooling to get inside the grooves of this of that cog there for the gear to run this, because then it will not operate correctly. So you need to make sure that it's inside the bottom half, as you can see here. See how it's closer to this side than it is this side? I did that purposely because I knew I was going to be coming into this area. It actually comes out to, it goes in there about that far. So as you can see, it goes into that cogged area. So that's why it's critical to favor the bottom side, the back side, the smooth side, compared to the geared side or the grooved side. So definitely be paying attention to that. And that's why I say you want to make sure that whenever you go to pinpoint your spot, just do up a center point for your drill bits to keep this in consideration, because you'll really screw yourself over and you'll end up having to do the other side.
Daddy,
Yes, baby girl.
here and here.
Yeah.
I got hurt by the sidewalk.
Yeah. Sidewalk came up and got you?
Yeah, I took that far down.
So
Yes.
we're about ready.
Okay.
Yay!
So-
Tell you the sidewalk attacked her.
Yeah. So keep that in mind whenever you're doing this up. If you decide to modify one of these, if you decide to get one and modify it for this purpose. Now, I want to show you the drastic difference between running one of these and doing it by hand. And let me go ahead and put this back together, and I'll show you just that. Okay, so I just remembered I didn't explain why on this. Now, like I was saying earlier, you want to run this all the way down to where it's on that plate, on this base plate. And if you go to put it in the drill press. The reason being is that you want as much resistance against the drill press as possible. And by resting it against this, set up like this, like it's all the way down here, and then you start drilling up here, there won't be any movement of the handle. It will move whenever you go to start putting pressure on the opposite end of this. So you want this to be ran all the way down to eliminate that issue. So yeah, okay. Back to what I was going to show you. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and soak this real quick. Here, the water's soaking in there. Now, With stamping, I usually just do cold water. As long as it gets wet, it's really all that matters with stamping. Whenever I'm wet forming for blocks and everything, that's when I heat it up. So I'm just going to do a simple stamp. This is the same one, a 1/2 inch one, and put it on the right side here. That actually didn't come out that bad. Usually it doesn't. So, whoop. Here's the number 1 here. Usually it doesn't come out that good, but I'm really surprised. Okay, so I'll go ahead and do the over here. Exact same die. Exact same piece of leather, wet leather, as you can see here. And put it down and push.
Push, Elijah, push.
And that's the way that one comes out. So, actually this, I don't know what the heck, but this actually came out a lot better with the hand stamp than with the press. Let's go ahead and try to do it. There. Oh, that's a better one. This one before it. This was the second one. This was the first one. And this is the one hand pressed. Now, let me show you something. Just a little bit of something real quick. Like, yeah, whenever I do these up, it does help out a lot with. Oh, come on, quit being shiny. I don't know if you can see it here. I'll just pop it out real quick. It does help rather well for stamps like this, where, dadgummit, come on now. Focus. Where it's more detailed, where the lettering or whatever is more detailed. Dadgummit, I can't get it to focus. And with those, with bigger lettering like this, and it really helps out for detailed emblems like this. It really makes everything pop and everything come together real well.
Dad, are you done?
Almost. For now. I know you guys are hungry. I'm hungry too. Don't worry about that either. So, that's one of the things I use that press for. It does help out quite a bit, especially like I was saying on those more detailed stamps I do. Another thing that it comes in very handy with are the snaps. Not right now, John. Another thing that it comes in real handy with is the snaps and doing up those center studs on here. Now it can get kind of tricky, because if you're not careful, you'll bust through the leather and everything and wind up ruining it. But so you have to kind of get a feel for it. You'll go through a few of them. I can guarantee you that, because I certainly did as well. Because there is, of course, there is such a thing as too much pressure whenever it comes to something, or dealing with leather and the press. So, of course, like I said, it's just a matter of finding the sweet spot for that. And there's a lot of other uses that it can be used for. Those are just the two primary things I use it for. I got one in here I use for in here, and I got one out in the shop that I use for setting bearings and everything. And cold roll pins or anything that I need it for. So, just decided to figure out, go ahead and show you guys the purpose of that press. It seems to do me really good. Oh, another thing, another neat little deal that you can do. These are eyelets for tarps. Oh, excuse me. You can set eyelets for them. You can set eyelets with it if you have the room to be able to do so. You can use this for all kinds of things if you modified it for with the way that I have it set up. You can do quite a bit of different things. So, like I said, I figured I'd just go ahead and show you guys just a simple little modification on something that can go quite a long ways. So, video verse. Let's go ahead and jump to that. So we are in Hebrews chapter 8, verses 7 through 13. For if that first covenant had been faultless, then no place would have been sought for a second. Because finding fault with them, he says, Behold, the days are coming, says the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they did not continue in my covenant, and I disregarded them, says the Lord. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, says the Lord. I will put my laws in their mind and write them on their hearts. And I will be their God, and they shall be my people. None of them shall teach their neighbor, and none his brother, saying, Know the Lord, for all shall know me, from the least of them to the greatest of them. For I will be merciful to their unrighteousness, and their sins, and their lawless deeds. I will remember no more. And that, he says, a new covenant he has made, the first obsolete. Now what is becoming obsolete and growing old is ready to vanish away. And that is Hebrews chapter 8, verses 7 through 13. And I will see you guys in the next one.